Hello everybody and welcome back to the West Ham Network. Anton here, bringing you my little bit of an opinion piece, and let's talk about that masterpiece that the board released to the West Ham fan base. Let me remind you that statement was released onto the West Ham website and they didn't really filter that through the social media sites. Normally when you do get updated news from West Ham, you do get a link that then proceeds to take you to the website, which goes out on X, goes out on Facebook, all that sort of stuff. But I think they probably were trying to be a little bit clever in their approach to sending this statement out. Kind of a little bit like brushing it under the carpet. Now, they have responded to the FAB's letter of no confidence with, what would you think exactly that was? An extremely glossy PR statement full of stats, nostalgia, and a lot of patting themselves on the back. But here lies the thing. When you actually read it, it doesn't reassure you. If anything, it just absolutely winds you up. So let's probably look at picking things apart in this statement. Now, timing is everything. First off, they put this out right after being slapped with that letter of no confidence. So what does that make it look like? Damage control or a spin? And if this was genuine transparency, they would have released it months ago. Actually, they would have released it years ago. But no, it took fan representatives essentially saying, we don't trust you, to finally provoke a response. That's not leadership. That's mega panic. And it should have been transparency, should have been with the fans from the moment they took over the club. But they failed all those years ago. Then we got the nostalgia, right? And I'm going to be very careful with what I mention here. It's only 2 years since we lifted our first trophy in 40 odd years. Yes, we know that. We absolutely loved it. And we will never, ever forget it. We've all went out and we've purchased as much of the memorabilia as we possibly can. But we don't need you to keep telling us that as if you're hoping that's your get out of jail free card. No, it's not. If anything, it highlights where's the progression on the back of such a fantastic victory. It's like they're constantly going, but remember Prague? Remember Jared Bowen's goal? Look over there, because if you look over there, you won't focus on us. Honestly, sometimes it makes me genuinely believe that they think like a following statement would work. Imagine yourself at work, right? And imagine you went to your manager and you said, can I get a pay rise because of all the hard work I did in the, the month of June 2022? What a great memory that is. But what have you done for us since? What have you done for us since? Absolutely F.O. So, the wording, I love to read things and pick up on specific words, and I don't know, maybe it makes me a little bit weird, but they say we accept results and haven't met our standards. But notice something that's missing: responsibility. Not one word of we got it wrong. Nothing like that. Instead, decisions were made like it all just happened. That's not accountability. That's politics. That's politician speak. That's speaking to us like we don't matter. What a massive own goal. What a massive own goal. Then they start parading names around. Potter, Noble, Macaulay, all part of a new strategy. Yesterday announcing through, well, whether or not it's them announcing it, because ex-WHU employee said that he's part of the ban from David Sullivan speaking to media outlets, apparently showing an owner around the club. It's like, come on, like we've been there, done that, wore the t-shirt, and until it's physically happened, I don't believe anything that comes out. Then they talk about that new strategy, right? They talk about that new strategy. That sounds great on paper. But let's look at reality. If this is a fresh, forward-thinking recruitment plan, why are we still linked to all these players past their prime? There's no real long-term vision that screams, I don't know, it's just no long-term vision. If anything, it screams sticking a bloody plaster over a wound. Like, it's just window dressing. It's just words, man. It's just words. Then we get the stadium section, right? Fan zones, tifos, DJ booths, beer gardens, you name it, working groups, all that sort of stuff. And a translation of that is, if we can't give you good football, we'll give you a nice light show. Well, you get a nice light show when it's under the lights, especially in European football. And if you're in European football, usually you're performing well. But here's the kicker. The board themselves admit the obvious. The best way to improve the atmosphere is by winning games. So why is this even in the statement? Why? Now, it's just all about the distraction. It's nothing more. And whilst we're on the stadium, let's not avoid the obvious. The move to the London Stadium has been single-handedly a monumental disaster from start to finish. We were sold that dream. Instead, it is what it is. And they're trying to manufacture an atmosphere. We've got groups of West Ham fans desperate to improve the atmosphere, game in and game out. Game in and game out, and nothing is being backed from this ownership. Where is our identity that I keep going on about? Where is our pride? We have the pride as West Ham fans, but they don't. You don't as owners. And I don't know how you can't see it. I do not know how you can not see it, because you don't care. You say you care, but you don't care. Upton Park had both. This place never has had anything, and no amount of fan zones, fan displays are going to cover that up. All the gaps all over the stadium. Honestly, and I'm not saying this from a new place. I've been here for years. I've been thinking the same about the board. And I just got so tired of talking about it that I had to just park it to try and live this dream that we were in. But moments like now, again, add fuel to the fire and drive my frustration. I tried to build up some logic behind why I feel the way I feel with regards to the board. Then you've got the training ground, right? Millions spent at Rush Green. New gym, new pitches, all the swimming pools, whatever it is, all the recovery stuff. That's all lovely, but the fans didn't write a letter of no confidence because the weights room needed a fresh coat of paint. They wrote it because of everything I have mentioned. The club has no direction. So let's be clear here. No one is denying that investment. It's real. The investment into what they have said in this statement is real. The investment into the player recruitment, it's real. But it's not what's gone in that matters. It's what we've got in return. And it's all the other things that wrap around West Ham that made us and has made us lose West Ham. So upgrading Rush Green now just brings that up to the standard that it should have been a decade ago. Right? I've not been in there. I've seen images. You know, I even put a post out on social media the other day, and I was referencing the statement they made about the training ground. And I put an image, and it was an old image of Rush Green. And I should have put more context behind the tweet and the Facebook social media post. So I kind of possibly misled people by accident, but didn't mean to. I was trying to get at the fact that what the image was only last year. And what that image was back in the 90s. What we've got now is 10 years ago. It's a decade ago. Clubs all over the English tiers in the Championship and League One have genuinely got better facilities than West Ham. So forgive us if we don't clap you for finally fixing something that should have been fixed in the first place. Stop ramming it down our throats. We're not stupid. Ugh. Don't get me wrong, right? All the community work the club does, I will, fair play. I do believe in it. It's all great stuff. All good stuff. Not a single person saying that's bad. But we didn't send the letter of no confidence because of the community outreach programme that West Ham have created. They sent it because of everything else. It's not about the community outreach that's been done. So why are you bringing that to the equation? Because you're clapping yourself on the back. and I feel like you're fearful. That's another case of kind of like bringing up something, answering a question that nobody asked. And this is what really cuts deep for me, right? The board talk about values, the club's identity, like they actually know what that means, like they genuinely know what that means. But where is it? Where is our identity? Please explain to me where our identity is. Without telling me we won a cup over the last 2 years, where is West Ham's identity? For years, West Ham stood for something. Hard graft, pride, flair, the Academy of Football. We on the West Ham Network have ex-West Ham pros that come on that say when they meet West Ham players now, all they say is you need to work hard because the fans will love you. That's all we ask for. That's all we ask for. Now we're a brand, a tenant, someone else's stadium. A club that hides behind buzzwords while serving up utter crap. Pride, identity, it's all gone. It's all gone, and I feel genuinely sad about it. I do. And this statement proves to me that the board, again, just solidifies that they don't understand West Ham. They don't understand the values. They do not understand our identity. And that's why we feel at a loss. That's why we are so against the board. The biggest issue with this statement is the overall tone of the statement. What is it? It's defensive. All they do is congratulate themselves. It's obsessed with anything other than taking responsibility for the problems that they have created at this club. We don't want PR. We don't want to be reminded of all the good stuff you've done, which is not much, by the way. Shiny gyms, attendance numbers. Like, stop telling us about the stadium and the numbers in the stadium. We know what the West Ham fan base is all about. We know. We absolutely know. You don't need to tell us. We know we're amazing. We know it. So stop telling us. We want a board, right, that fronts up, admits mistakes, shows a clear plan, transparent plan, not just buzzwords. This wasn't reassurance to us. It was a full-blown spin, and all it did was prove absolutely everything that letter of no confidence said. The board simply don't get it. So to the West Ham board, thank you for your leaflet through the door. But I've just rolled that up and chucked that in the bin. You can polish that statement all you like, but until everything else improves, the recruitment makes sense, there's no confidence coming back in your way whatsoever. You have added fuel to the fire. Because here's the truth. We don't want new fan zones. We don't want long essays. We don't want nostalgia speeches. We just want West Ham back. And maybe, just maybe, the real end game isn't a new strategy. Maybe the end game isn't a new training ground. Maybe the end game isn't a new stadium. Maybe it's a new board. And the sooner that happens, the sooner this club can actually take steps forward.